Continuing our program behind these walls, today we're visiting the Young House, or as it's known today as Oak Level, near Isle of Wight Courthouse.
Oak Level, it was originally built in 1768 by Francis Young. He became the first clerk of court of Isle of Wight County. He married a Bennett lady, and on the death of her father, they inherited 1,000 acres where Oak Level is now. The main part of the house, the center part of the house, is originally back in 1768. Well, the fireplace, it was in pretty much disarray, and we had some brickwork done to it. The main part, the mantel, this timber here is a non-bearing timber that was in the house, in the walls, but it's a hand-hewn timber. On the end of it, I've actually used a magnifying glass and a toothpick and actually counted 157 rings in just the end of that piece of wood. New construction these days is 2x4s, but that's what was used in this house when it was constructed. But Marie, one day when it was empty, says, would you like to live out there? I said, my Lord. I looked around, I said, we're going to have to buy a $20,000 lawnmower to keep up with all this stuff. And it takes 6 hours just to cut the grass if you do it all in one day, and I have an 84-inch finishing mower on the back of a tractor. It would still take 6 hours. But anyway, we decided to do it. This is a candle that was lodged up over the top of a doorway in between the walls, and I believe it's made out of beeswax and has a cotton wick. There's an old toothbrushes, 2 toothbrush. They were in between the walls, and how on earth they got there is beyond me. It's probably a 16-pound lock. It's about as heavy as a bowling ball, and that originally came off the smokehouse. But Marie's grandfather went to school here as a young boy in a one-room schoolhouse that's outside, and he used to walk through the woods across the fields from Muggles Church Road and go to school here. He must have fell in love with it early on, because in 1925 he purchased Oak Level.
And the slave that...
Randall Booth, yes, he was responsible for preserving the county records during the Civil War, where he took them actually to Brunswick County and hid for months out there. But he became ill. I'm sure he died here out at Oak Level because they cared for him until his death. Basically, I think we agree, we have 2 regrets now. We've been here 25 years. But the 2 biggest regrets we have is it's rapidly outgrowing us. It's a lot of work. And the other regret we have is that no one in the family wants it. But then the biggest fear we have is that one day, when it's in someone else's hands that doesn't appreciate the history and everything about Oak Level, that it'll be bulldozed, the trees will be cut. This stairwell, there was a group that lived out here for a bit. There were some wild parties out here, and they were kind of rough people. But Wayne was working on the steps. He found 22 bullets in the wood. The man was actually shooting mice in the house with a .22 rifle or a pistol. So he was hitting the railings. I mean, it's just amazing. There's lots of history here. We feel privileged that we even live here with the history. It's quiet, it's beautiful. People say, why would you want to live in such a high maintenance area? I said, well, because of the peace, the quiet, the history. Like I said, we feel privileged we're here. The first thing we did was put a roof on, and from there we've just been working every year for 25 years, and well, 2 years ago,
tired of working, tired of painting.
We finished. I don't want to see a paintbrush. I won't hold one for a long time.